this is what is supposed to happen when everything works right. Government is supposed to be a vehicle for change, right? Government is supposed to be the collective vehicle that does what we can't do individually. It's as simple as that. And you don't have to get more complex than that. What do we as a society want to do that we can't accomplish alone? And that's what we do through government. And it's supposed to be about positive change and growth and instilling hope in people that we can actually get good things done. I hate gridlock. Why? Because gridlock says the exact opposite. Gridlock says we can't come together, we can't agree, we can't get anything done. It feeds the negativity, it feeds the cynicism, it feeds the despair. I hate what they've been doing in Washington because it just makes everything worse. And in gridlock, everybody loses. Everybody loses. I don't care what you believe, what you think, everybody loses. Sometimes I get grief for compromising to get something done. Why? Because I believe half a loaf is better than nothing. It's an old saying, anyone who doesn't believe half a loaf is better than nothing never went hungry. And it's true. But I like when we work together and we get positive accomplishments. I like what we did in this budget. I like more funding for education than ever before in history. I love the building agenda. I love New LaGuardia, Penn Station, et cetera. That's all great stuff. But for me, it comes alive. And what makes all the baloney worth it is when you actually make a difference in people's lives. When you actually touch people. When you actually get to go home and put your head on the pillow and say, people's lives are better because of what we did. Marriage equality. You created a civil right for people. You removed a societal stereotype and judgment that people had to live with for their entire life. And you created a civil right, marriage equality. SAFE Act with guns. We will save people's lives with the SAFE Act. $15 minimum wage. Literally, you go from making $18,000 a year to making $30,000 a year. Just imagine how that changes a life. It changes literally how much food you eat. It changes how many clothes your kids have. It literally will change everything in people's lives. And paid family leave. Paid family leave creates, in essence, a civil right. Will change people's lives. Well, you had a choice before because there was always mandatory leave. Yeah, but it's not a choice if it's not an option. It's not really a choice. Take off 6 weeks and stay home, and you can enjoy your child, but nobody's going to pay you. That is not a choice because I don't have the option because nobody can go without a paycheck for 6 weeks. Nobody can go without a paycheck for 12 weeks. So really, there was no option. Paid family leave says, live your life removed of the economic pressure. Live your life in a way that is totally equal, regardless of income, regardless of wealth. Help a sick loved one, raise your child, spend that time, be there when your family needs you. It will change the way people live their lives. It's not academic, it's not theoretical, it's not if you qualify by filling out column 4B, if you are of this income level. Everybody, every man, every woman. And it happens now. And then the impact of New York nationally. You know, don't kid yourself. When I worked for the federal government, I had to say, oh, I love all the states. Like children, you really can't choose between. Yeah, forget that. I love the state of New York more, and the state of New York is special. It is special. when New York does something, people notice. We passed marriage equality. The next week, they take the microphone and they put it in the vice president's face and they say, what would you have done if you were a senator from New York? Joe Biden says, I would have done the same thing. I would have signed the bill. They go to the president, what would you have done? Joe Biden just said he would sign the bill. The president says, thank you very much, Joe. I would have done the same thing. Every politician now gets asked that question. Why? Because if you can do it in New York, then why can't you do it in California and Oregon and New Jersey and everywhere else? That's what New York does for you. It did it on marriage equality. It does it every day on the SAFE Act, gun control. It's going to do it on $15 minimum wage now. Every state, every governor, every legislator has to answer that question. Why can't you do what New York did? And it's going to do it on paid family leave. I credit with the passage two groups. First group was my father, because I introduced the topic of paid family leave in the State of the State address. And I told the story through my father's death and the guilt I had about not being there for my father when my father was dying. Now, I wasn't there not because of economic reasons, because of obsessive compulsive reasons. I have to work, but I have such guilt and regret that I should have spent more time at the end. And I spent time, but I should have been there every minute. Every minute. And to this day, I feel a guilt about not having done the right thing by him. And I told that story in the State of the State, because so many of these issues, paid family leave, they're all in the abstract. And that story really humanized what it meant. This is what it means. Somebody's dying, a loved one, you have the ability to be there with him. And the next day, after the State of the State, one of the really nasty Republican senators, not like there were a lot of them, I didn't mean there were like a lot of them, I just wanted a senator, Republican senator, who happened to be nasty, said to me afterwards, after you told that story about your father, I'm not going to fight with you on paid family leave. So I think my father was in there. Second, it's every person in this room, because you've been fighting this fight for a lot of years. And change doesn't come normally overnight. We have, by the way, when you look back, in 6 years, we have had a series of major legislative changes that we haven't had in the preceding 30 years. You start to look at what we did with the women's rights agenda. We didn't get 10 out of 10, but we got 9 out of 10, and that was a phenomenal win. Bev is here. People killed themselves. But you look at the social progress, the economic progress we've made, it has been phenomenal. But normally it takes time. You've been working at this paid family leave issue for a long, long time. And you're educating people, and every year it's incremental. And it got a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger, and then it got to a point where there was a critical mass, and it goes over the top. But you made it happen. You made it happen. And you should take such joy in that, you know, because these battles are long. And sometimes you say to yourself, you know, I'm fighting every day, I'm spending all this time. Are we ever going to get there? This says, not only can we get there, we did get there. You accomplished what you wanted to accomplish. Years of work, very little thanks, all sincerity, but you did it because you wanted to help people. And congratulations, because you did. You made this state a fairer state, a better state. You helped women, you helped men, and it's going to have national consequences, because you're going to see this wave now start and build and work its way all across the country. So God bless you for the good work you did. and enjoy. Thank you.